Hello and welcome to Wagner's Tech Talk. I'm your host, Wagner, and today we're going to take a look at the AtGames Legends Ultimate. This machine includes 300 licensed arcade and console games with the ability to add thousands more with a USB drive. In addition to that, you can also connect other devices such as a Raspberry Pi, Super Console X, portable retro gaming handhelds, and more to the Legends Ultimate. I wish to express a huge thank you to AtGames for providing this unit for review and guide development. Let's get started. This is definitely one of the largest unboxings I've ever done on this channel. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. Up at the top, you have the control panel. There are some boards I also removed before flipping over on the side here and pulling out the bar top. Here's all the pieces, just so you can get a good idea of what all comes in the box. You have the panels on the left-hand side, screws. I don't think they could have made the assembly process any easier. If you're familiar with putting together IKEA furniture, it's very similar. You use these cam bolts and locks, and everything just goes together real smooth. For the bottom portion, you slide in this piece and then you put on the other side, and again you tighten it with the cam bolts. The bar top attaches very easily to the bottom portion of the cabinet. The cables you'll need to connect to the control panel are tucked away under the bar top, and then you just simply plug them all in. There's 3 of them. There's 2 screws that go on the top of the control panel and 6 in total that go on the sides, 3 on each side. And from there we'll just plug in the power cord. The controller layout is nice. It's got 2 joysticks as well as 6 buttons for each player, or a total of 12, as well as a trackball and a spinner for each of the 2 players. All of the controls seem to be high quality as far as the buttons and the stick. Both the spinner and the trackball work very well. It has a nice even spin to it. Looking up at the top of the panel, here you'll find the HDMI input, your OTG connection, which will allow you to use the control panel with other devices, such as a Pi 4. I also have a USB flash drive, which we'll cover in just a moment. Pressing the channel button will switch inputs, and this is a brief look of the cabinet fully assembled. Now, let's move on to the software. While not required to play any of the included games on the Legends Ultimate, you'll likely want to take advantage of some of its online features available through ArcadeNet, including high score leaderboards, which allows you to compete against other ALU owners, online gaming and lobby. There are quarterly festivals which provide chances of winning some pretty awesome prizes, and more. To connect up to the internet, you have the option of both Ethernet or Wi-Fi. Now we'll go ahead and power on the machine. I timed the boot up at 27 seconds, which is rather fast, much faster than my cell phone. Now let's take a quick look at some of the top menu options. The first one is Games. This is where you'll launch any of the games that you want to play, and there's of course 300 built in to the ALU. To the right of that, we have ArcadeNet, where you can play online games. And to the right of that, you have Lobby, where you can play online games with other people. The BYOG menu allows you to run games from an appropriately configured USB flash drive, which we'll touch on in a moment. App Store X is where you'll go to install additional applications, as well as pinball tables. Under the Settings menu, you'll find options for connecting to your Wi-Fi network, sign in and out of your ArcadeNet account, which is offered as free or paid accounts, OTG options, which allow you to connect to a PC, Raspberry Pi, and other devices, which we'll discuss in a few moments. Under Version, you can download and update the firmware in the machine to the latest available release. Under Control Mirroring, you can swap controls to orient the sticks and buttons in a way that is more comfortable for you. Flash Drive X will allow formatting and mounting of a USB stick to download additional applications such as CoinOpsX, Kodi, Pixelcade, or purchased pinball volumes. There are a number of other cool options to explore, such as voice chat, pinball settings, and many more. Now we're going to switch over to the Games menu. I want to show you how to easily navigate your game list. Once a game is highlighted, you can simply press the AtGames or menu button up at the top, and From there, you can select on the left-hand side which type of games you're interested in looking at. For example, we'll scroll down to the channels and take a look at Taito. So we'll go ahead and select Taito, and now we have a filtered list of just Taito games. Under platforms, if you want to see just arcade games, you can select arcade, and now you're only seeing a filtered list of arcade games. You can do the same for any of the pinball tables that I purchased separately here. You can also filter by certain types of controls, such as joystick games, games that use the spinner, as well as the trackball. And of course, you can move up to the top and select all games. Once you're ready to play a game, it's very easy. We'll just move on over to the game. We'll pick Asteroids. Go ahead and press the A button, and it gives you some information about the types of controls that are used by this particular game. Then just press the A button to start the game. Once the game is started, you have even more options you can select to display the game according to your preferences. You can change the display mode to change the way the game is scaled to the monitor. You also have options for scan lines as horizontal, vertical, or off. Of course, with Asteroids, you may not want scan lines, so we'll turn that off. And from here, we'll go ahead and check out some of the different display modes, such as Pixel Perfect, there's Center, there's Fit, and Full Screen, which is pretty cool. I'll go ahead and play it in this mode. You also have options for saving your high score, quitting the game, and much more. Let's move on to the gameplay. Let's go ahead and insert a credit and start our first game, which is Asteroids. Now we'll take a look at Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. And another classic, Bubble Bobble. Now we'll move on to one of my favorites, Millipede. And while I'm showing you mostly arcade gameplay here, there are a number of console games that you can also play, such as some from the Super Nintendo and many more. Once a game is finished, you can go to Save High Score, and from here, you can submit your high score for the game. I'm going to go ahead and enter my initials, WTT, and go ahead and press A and submit it to the leaderboards. Once submitted, you can go to AtGames.net on the arcade leaderboards and check out Millipede, and here we have the weekly high score. Now we'll check out another classic, Tron. This one, of course, is using the spinner as well as the buttons and joystick. There are far more games pre-installed on the ALU than I can show you in a single video. But one question you may have is, what if the games I want to play are not included? What options do I have? If you head on over to wagnerstechtalk.com/ALU, there is much more information on this guide to help you with that very question. For example, if you click on the CoinOpsX guide page, you'll find that P-Dubs and I have partnered to bring you the CoinOpsX guide, which will allow you to install thousands more games directly on the Flash Drive X formatted USB stick. That is, you don't have to connect a PC, a Raspberry Pi, or anything else up to the machine in order to play these games. Let's take a look. CoinOpsX makes use of the wheel interface to make it easy to navigate all the games. And as I mentioned, there's thousands of games here. We'll start off with Galaga, playing on CoinOpsX. Moving on to Robotron 2084, this particular game is utilizing both sticks, the left and right stick, in order to fire, and all of this is set up for you automatically through CoinOpsX. And of course, you can play your favorite golf game, Golden Tee 2K. This game makes use of the trackball for both gameplay and navigation, just like the original arcade version.
for one, trying for birdie.
I guess I should be whispering. Of course, there are a lot of classic Laserdisc games, such as Space Ace, also included on CoinOpsX. On the guide page, you'll also find some instructions to assist you with connecting external devices via OTG or Bluetooth. OTG stands for on the go, and it's simply a USB connection. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and plug in a USB connection to the Super Console X stick. Then we'll go to OTG mode, and you'll soon see USB connected. After pressing the channel button and mapping the controls and emulation station, you can now control your Super Console X using the ALU and playing Donkey Kong Country. But it doesn't stop there. We can go ahead and hook up a Raspberry Pi 4 using this Nespi 4 case. We'll go ahead and plug in a cartridge that has Batocera installed. I'll map the controls and then navigate the menuing system. For a full guide, you can go to wagnerstechtalk.com, RPi4 Gaming, and it'll step you through the install of RetroPie, Recalbox, and Batocera. There's a lot of information here, including the software setup and how to install your games. There are an endless number of devices you can connect to your ALU. In this example, I'm connecting a Retroid Pocket 2 retro gaming handheld using an HDMI to micro HDMI cable. Now I'm going to press the Player 2 button for about 8 seconds to enable Bluetooth. From there, I can connect up to the Retroid Pocket 2 using the Android operating system, and then scroll down, and I've already got some games installed, and I'm going to scroll down to the very bottom, and we'll go ahead and pick Zen Pinball, and go ahead and launch that. And we'll go ahead and load up a table and try it out. There is a little bit of latency on the Retroid Pocket 2. Other devices, such as the Pi 4 and Super Console X, have no noticeable latency. However, the game is fully playable, and it's pretty cool that you can use a small handheld connected to the ALU. Now let's check out some other ways you can play pinball. You don't need the Legends Pinball Kit in order to play pinball on your Legends Ultimate. However, it does make for a nicer pinball experience. Installation is very easy. All you have to do is basically take this screw and screw it in on both sides of the cabinet. It just fits easily over the connector here, and screw it in and repeat for the other side, and you're basically done. As if everything you've seen so far isn't enough, AtGames also has well over 100 pinball tables you can download and install for an additional charge. These tables include titles from Gottlieb, Zakaria, and Taito. Let's check out a little bit of gameplay, beginning with Black Belt 2018.
Hard mode is lit.
And one that I play quite a bit, Frontline. And another awesome AtGames exclusive, Space Invaders. If you want to see more gameplay of these and several other tables, check out my Legends Pinball Guide at wagnerstechtalk.com/ALP. And lastly, there was one new feature that was released as beta during the filming of this video, and that's Kodi on the ALU. We'll go ahead and select movies. I'm using the trackball here to navigate the menus. I'll go to the ALU drive. And down below, I have a subdirectory called WTT, and we'll play a short clip from one of my prior videos.
Today we're going to talk about Pinup Popper Baller Installer setup for the AtGames Legends Pinball. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the hardware, and most of the time talking about the software.
Again, I would like to thank AtGames for sending this unit for review and guide development. Let's start off with what I like most. The cabinet design and artwork looks beautiful. The controls work very well. I had no issues with the spinner, trackball, or the buttons. And this is an actual multicade, which includes 300 licensed games. You also have the ability to play over 100 pinball tables, of course, for an extra charge, and the ability to install applications such as CoinOpsX, Kodi, and several others to a flash drive. And it's infinitely expandable via OTG and Flash Drive X. My list of improvements is rather short, but here goes. In my opinion, I would keep the channel button on the front, but move the HDMI and OTG ports to either the side or the back of the cabinet. I realize it was placed there to make it easy to connect stuff, but it kind of gets in the way sometimes. And lastly, I would like to see more arcade and console game volumes that can be licensed to the ALU. The focus on pinball games is great, but an expansion of licensed arcade games would be appreciated as well. I hope you enjoyed this look at the AtGames Legends Ultimate. I plan on additional coverage of both the Legends Ultimate as well as the Legends Pinball on this channel and the guides. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you don't want to miss a future episode, please click the subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you'll know when a new video is released. And with that, I will talk to you very soon.